Formatology is gone, but we got recycling. Is this the replacement that's going to be the big goal maker for this expansion? Like Forma was in the last, let's have a look at it. Recycling works by breaking down 5 crafted items from a range of midnight professions and turning them into engineering parts that you can use in your own crafts. There's a huge potential of items that can be recycled this way. Engineering parts for a start, but then we've got tailoring bolts, blacksmithing alloys, inscription pigments and inks, basically just loads of different crafts that you can break down. Now when you break these down, you're not getting material outputs like you did with Formatology in the War Within. We're getting key crafting materials for engineering, so that's Evercores and Eliflume. You are not able to craft these or anything like that. These only come from recycling. So we have a constant demand from engineering for midnight crafts to break down so that they can get the components they need to be able to do what they need with their profession. This also means that if you can be good at this, you can be the one making and selling these components or using them in your own crafts as part of a vertical integration production line with engineering to make loads of gold. Everything you can recycle produces either Evercores or Eliflume. There is no overlap. Evercores are produced by the cheaper stuff that you can recycle, as in easier to get materials and fewer materials basically. For this, think like basic stuff like basic copper alloys, bright linen bolts, inks, that kind of stuff that's cheap and easy to make. Eliflume comes from the more complicated and expensive crafts, so think things like sterling alloys, which need the basic copper alloys to craft them, missives that need inks, embellishments, all that kind of stuff. In this video, we're not going to be covering exactly how to set up engineering and where to get all your knowledge points. We covered all that in the basic engineering profession video, link below, and there's no point repeating it. It's all the basic stuff really. Get your profession treasures, do your first time crafts, get your patron orders, weekly treasures, as in the basic things that you get. But there's more in the guide. Most of the recipes you need to learn in engineering come from recycling anyway, so that's a nice bonus. If you want a written version of the engineering setup guide, or even this recycling guide, we have free midnight guides for every profession on the Gold Making Community Discord, link below if you want to come and join us. Now recycling cannot multi-craft, so you're looking at running a resourcefulness tool with a resourcefulness enchant. Because of the cost of some of the things that we will be recycling here, getting your resourcefulness up as soon as possible is something that will definitely benefit your profit margins. From a knowledge perspective, we start with 30 points in recycling. This gives us the bonus that recycling now yields 100% more materials. This is obviously huge for this build. Next on my list, I put 20 points in resourcefulness. This is obviously going to boost our resourcefulness, so we use less materials and cut down our crafting costs for recycling, increasing profit margins. Now you don't necessarily need to get this early. You can potentially come back and get it later on if you want to prioritize spending other knowledge points that we're going to go through first. But for now, it's here. 30 points in bits next. We get resourcefulness bonus for points here, although it may not seem obvious from the wording. The important part here is that you get the small chance to grant an extra low quality region when recycling. So this is another nice bonus, a slight increase in output. Also at this stage, if you have the rest of your profession set up, then you should be able to recycle rank 2 into rank 2. After that, we can spend our next 60 knowledge points in bits and bots, basically just fill out everything here. That's 140 knowledge points in total, and we have everything that gives us any sort of benefit for recycling. At the point of recording, Midnight has not yet been released, but we can guess the kind of things that will be kind of the best stuff to recycle. Bright linen bolts, scale woven hide, song gears, copper ignites, pigments, all look like potentially good ways to get Evercores. To get Eliflume, probably the best choices may be imbued bright linen bolts and gloaming or sterling alloys. Now this looks like it's going to be a fairly solid way to make gold through the expansion. It's not going to be Forma levels because you are not producing herbs, ore and stuff like that as output, but it does look like it's going to be pretty solid. The issue with these sort of things is always knowing if it's going to be a profit before you start. And this might not be as simple as we think. Each individual item may have its own yield. And if that's the case, it makes no difference if, say for example, that the copper ignites are cheaper to craft than all the other stuff, because if the yield is lower, then the output is lower per craft. So for calculating all of this, basically it's just a case of crafting loads of stuff, seeing what you get out so you can predict future results and therefore know the profit margins from that. It does cost a little bit of gold and time to do all this, but it's worth it long term. Alternatively, I have a calculator for the viable crafts for this on the crafting sheet on Patreon. You can see a preview of that popping up in the top right if you're interested. If this video was helpful, please leave it a like. See you next time.